It was October 30th, 1978. The air above the Kagera River trembled with the roar of tanks. Ugandan soldiers, wild-eyed and drunk on power, thundered across the border into northern Tanzania. Behind them marched a man who believed himself untouchable, Idi Amin, the self-proclaimed conqueror of the British Empire, the last king of Scotland. But that day his crown began to crack. To Amin, this invasion was theatre. He imagined himself a general king, striking fear into his neighbours, proving once again that Uganda's army was unstoppable. But his soldiers were not an army. They were wolves, undisciplined, hungry, and brutal. They looted villages, burned homes, and slaughtered civilians. Their boots stamped arrogance into Tanzanian soil, and in that soil they planted the seeds of Amin's destruction. Across the border, Julius Nyerere watched in silence. He was a patient man, a teacher turned president, a leader who preferred peace to war. But on that day, Amin gave him the perfect reason to fight. For years, Nyerere had sheltered Ugandan exiles who dreamt of Amin's fall. Now he had both the justification and the will. Amin's invasion had united his enemies and awakened Tanzania's fury. To understand the man behind this reckless act, we must go back to where his story began. Idi Amin was born on May 30th, 1928, in Koboko, northern Uganda. A boy of the Kakwa tribe, poor, strong, and largely uneducated. He left school after just a few years. But what he lacked in learning, he made up for in strength and charm. He was over 6 feet tall, broad, fierce, and fearless. In 1946, under British colonial rule, Amin joined the King's African Rifles, a regiment that sent African soldiers to fight Britain's wars. He served in Somalia, in Kenya during the Mau Mau uprising, and earned a reputation for loyalty and cruelty in equal measure. When Uganda gained independence in 1962, Amin rose quickly through the ranks. The new Prime Minister, Milton Obote, saw in him a useful weapon, a man who would do the dirty work without question. Amin was loyal for a while. He crushed rebellions, attacked the Buganda kingdom, and earned Obote's trust. But power breeds ambition. And soon, Amin began to dream of something greater. By the late 1960s, tension grew between the two men. Rumors spread of smuggling, corruption, plots. When Obote left the country for a Commonwealth meeting in January 1971, Amin struck. His tanks rolled into Kampala. By dawn, he was president. He smiled for the cameras, danced in the streets, and promised a new beginning. At first, Uganda believed him, but within months, the streets ran red. Amin turned his charm into terror. He purged Obote's loyalists, filled rivers with corpses, and built a state ruled by fear. His secret police hunted anyone who spoke against him. Men vanished overnight. Families buried silence instead of bodies. Between 1971 and 1979, an estimated 500,000 Ugandans were killed. He called it discipline. The world called it madness. Then came 1972, the year of the expulsion. Amin ordered all Asians, tens of thousands of them, to leave Uganda within 90 days. He said God had told him in a dream. Factories shut down, shops closed, the economy collapsed. The gift to Ugandans became a curse that starved the nation. But even as Uganda crumbled, Amin grew more delusional. He crowned himself President for Life, Field Marshal Alhaji Dr. Idi Amin Dada, Lord of all the beasts of the earth and fishes of the sea. He posed in military medals, drove luxury cars, and declared himself the last king of Scotland. The world laughed. Ugandans wept. By the mid-1970s, his empire was rotting from within. Officers feared him. Allies turned against him. And across the border, Tanzania was watching. In 1978, when a group of Amin's own soldiers mutinied and fled south, he blamed Nyerere. Instead of solving his problems, Amin did what tyrants often do. He attacked. He sent his army into Tanzania, declaring the Kagera region part of Uganda. He thought it would make him a hero. He thought the world would admire his strength. He was wrong. The invasion united Tanzania like never before. Nyerere mobilized his army and welcomed Ugandan exiles into its ranks. They called themselves the Uganda National Liberation Front. By November, they had driven Amin's forces out of Tanzania. But Nyerere did not stop there. He marched north. As Tanzanian troops advanced, Amin's soldiers fell apart. Years of corruption and fear had destroyed discipline. Many fled. Others looted and ran. For the first time, the world saw the truth. Amin's army was not powerful. It was hollow. By April 1979, Tanzanian and Ugandan rebel forces reached Kampala. Amin fled in disguise, abandoning his capital, his titles, and his delusions. Within days, his regime collapsed. The man who had once called himself the conqueror of the British Empire was now a fugitive. He fled to Libya, then to Saudi Arabia, where he lived quietly until his death in 2003, far from the soil he once ruled with blood. He never faced justice. He never apologized. And when he died, there was no state funeral, no flag, no anthem, only silence. Idi Amin's downfall began not with a bullet, but with his own pride. He invaded another land and found his own fate waiting there. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.